This is smilejos67. Welcome you back with Dax Isidoreth Hispalensis, and look at all these people around here. Lovely. Oh, the world is. Hey, doesn't look like anybody's lived here. I've mentioned that a few times, and I watched this video of this guy commenting about Skyrim. What's the problem with Skyrim? He mentioned another one, a new one, whose name I can't think. It's got normal readers supposedly from this game. And they're travelling across the US, delivering stuff. And he said, relaxed, realistic immersion. And I have to say, I've said that multiple times here for Elder Scrolls Online. It doesn't look like anybody actually lives here. I don't believe it. And he said the same. Well, he said for Skyrim, it said it didn't make sense. It's got a very rich, detailed world, but it doesn't take into account the effects of magic. He took for an example. How would having magic affect some stuff? Because it's a magic-full world, and said, oops. And I would say what they've done is taken a medieval basic setting and just left it at that and not considered the consequences. It doesn't work, it's not realistic. Anyway, I have this little snow home where I'm going to read the mail. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I just love it. That's that canopy above the tent where this little snow globe is. And here's the light sit. Oh, never mind, this is the entrance, stables, I guess. Even though it's going to be in a bit of a shade. Oh, sideways, have a look. Sunlight sits that way. Let's try that. It is my extreme pleasure to offer you these fine woodworking materials. Most would balk at hiring a wood elf for such a task, but have no fear, this hireling is faithful to your needs. Devotedly yours, Orbinor the Faithful. I've begun to dally about Josiah's tent even more lately. She already taught me several woodworking techniques, though naturally it's simple to sate my curiosity. I could never actually take on the practice myself, no matter how tempting the thought may be. I finally gathered the nerve to tell Josiah about the rumours that had been circulating through the camp about us. All she did was laugh. Though I've never felt more humiliated, she told me, "It's not me whom you love, but my trade." I bit my tongue. Yes, I may have a fascination with woodworking, but I wouldn't say I love it. Met that shady Nord on the road again. The good news is that he was able to sell me the materials for my latest shipment. The bad news is that I believe he may be following me. Perhaps I'll travel within the forest for a few days, just in case. I've already read a bunch of these. After much thought, I've decided against eating fruit. Even after... oh. I think I've deleted a few. After much... never mind. After much thought, I've decided against eating fruit, even that which has dropped from trees. I'm not sure if my stomach could handle it. Not to mention the diseases that I might develop. I'm not sure how the other races can handle such a diet. My collection of woodworking materials continues. However, please enjoy. Oh, that's better. Here we go. See, I haven't read this one. I finally found a group of wood elves to travel with. Though I haven't been met with the warmest reception, I believe my current employment is somewhat off-putting for them. I've tried to explain my reasoning, but to no avail. Still, here's your shipment, as promised. It's odd that my wood elf companions are quieter than the group of redguards I travelled with. The look in their eyes makes the back of my neck crawl, especially when I'm trading for your crafting materials. I'm not sure how much longer I'll be with this group, but have no fear, I'll still make sure my shipments are timely and well stocked. Yes, even though I've got ash now, the fact is when this mail was delivered, I'm still on birch. I send you this shipment along with a bit of bad news. I seem to have unwillingly entered a quite a debate last night with the Wood Elf group that I'm travelling with. They questioned my loyalty to the Green Pack and tried to convince me to leave my line of current work. Of course, I have no such wish. Still, the words are hard to swallow. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I've often met with skepticism when I talk of my conviction in the pact. No matter, as long as I hold faith, I don't care what others say. Just because I cannot easily obtain or use these crafting materials does not mean that it goes against my faith to send them to you. I hope I'll be able to craft a fine piece from this shipment. Probably not, since I'm not using birch at the moment. But you know, these other gems I could be using. One of my wood elf travelling companions refused to hunt with me today. He told me to go back to camp, as he did not want to lose Aether's protection by accepting my help. I've never heard of something so absurd. I went to the other members of the camps for support, but they remained silent. Well, if they won't help, I'll just hunt by myself. I met a spot of trouble while collecting this shipment for you. A few of the wood elves I'm travelling with happened to catch me as I gathered your materials, and began to question what I was doing. I calmly explained that all I had collected was already fallen, but they simply refused to listen. I'm not sure how much longer I'll be welcome. Today I was going to leave the wood elf group I was travelling with. They were quite candid in that they wished to not be seen with someone that they so easily called a traitor to the pack. Well, I never. It's certainly alright, as I'd rather travel on my own than with those who would mock me. And generally from what I read of the wood elves is they actually buy completed wooden items. They consider them quite a treasure, like a wooden bowl or a wooden chair. I know I may sound odd, but lately I've been dreaming. Oh, bit of a sneeze. I know it may sound odd, but lately I've been dreaming of woodworking. Oftentimes I imagine a woodworker I've met on the road, but sometimes it's my own hands that craft the wood. I always awake feeling guilty, but also excited. I'm not sure who else I can speak of this to. Thank you for being not only my employer, but a steadfast confidant. The look we had before, he was a craftsman. Yes. Are there wood elves who are woodworkers? I'm not sure how they would be able to overcome this guilt. It's odd, but I never had these questions before leaving home. I hope you'll enjoy the shipment, and please feel free to ignore my question. I'm sure I'll find my answers during the course of my journey. I'm going to take that this is a player game, that there are plenty of wood elves who craft. Oh, I forgot to look. Orbinor the Bewildered. Oh, yes, he's been there for a bit. Okay, I realise that my last few letters may have been questioning my commitment to the pack, simply because I have these urges, not mean I will act upon them. I'm sure many wood elves go through the same feelings once I've learned of the wonders of woodworking. I'll eventually learn to suppress it. You'll see. For now, it's enough to help you. As always, here is your shipment. You know, I just realised this, but I've never fully explained to my family back home what my current employment entails. I speak of travelling and trading, but never of the materials I work with. I've resolved to send them a letter to correct this as soon as possible. Do you happen to recall the shady Nord fellow I traded with after leaving the Red Guards? Well, by Ife, I met him again. I'm not quite sure if it's a stroke of luck or no, but there's no way this man is following me. That would be ridiculous. Just coincidence. That's all. Maybe he's a wood elf in disguise. Last night I had to sleep in a tree, courtesy of a hungry pack of wolves. Thank goodness they didn't catch me in more open area. Well, I have to make sure to find a travelling brig soon. I could hardly keep my eyes open today as I collected these materials for your shipment. Oh, lack of sleep trying to fall out of the tree. I've met a group of Khajiit that I've begun to travel with. It's harder to trust than my other travelling companions, but they've shown interest in helping me collect crafting materials for my shipment. As always, my work to you comes first. I'll just make sure to keep my gold close at hand. Yes, do that. I've attempted several times to write a letter home explaining my current employment, but somehow the right words elude me. I don't wish them to think ill of me, but I know that if I could speak in person, I could explain my unwavering commitment to the pact. Perhaps it's best to wait until I visit home for such an explanation. Pudding. Though the Khajiit are far more welcoming than my last script, I find their humour strange. One of them will say something that doesn't appear to be a joke, and then the rest of the group will suddenly begin to laugh. I can't help but feel I'm missing something here. Something I never miss, however, is your shipment. Enjoy. Lately, young Khajiit named Nalini has been asking me questions about the pack. I'm not sure if she's perhaps considering converting to the green pack. Odd choice for someone of her kind. But for now, I've decided it's simply a curiosity of the unknown. Who am I to judge her for holding an interest outside the norms of her race? Who knows where this story is going to go? Right. Today, I discussed my diet with Nalini, explaining why I only eat meat. He pointed to my latest shipment. You collect that which Nalini's people have felled, yet you cannot eat what we have picked? I had a hard time explaining the difference, but adamantly refused her offer of the recently cooked vegetables. The very thought turns my stomach sour. Interesting. Khajiit was a cat-like person eating vegetables. And here we go to an elf, which is a human-like person. Not. Eat both. It's good for you. Limited amount of meat. Good vegetables and fruit. And a very restricted amount of sugar. Last night, Nalini told me, my people found a tree, and your employer crafts it. Why do you accept this? You cannot work the wood yourself. I tried to explain, but she simply shook her head. The tree is fallen, the wood is crafted. In the end, all is the same. You understand my reasoning, don't you? Simply different. I do it myself. Voice. I've been thinking about Nalini's question. Why does the thought of others harvesting the green not offend me? As long as it's not from the Valen wood, and as long as I don't harm the green myself, I find myself uncaring. I know many of my kind hold this view, but why? I hope this shipment is enough to forgive my never-ending questions. Wow. Trees are brown. Does that help? I recently, went from 30 to 27 days. Oh, I do remember I accidentally deleted one of these, Orbinor, the welded nails. Maybe it's in between there. Hopefully it's not nothing to the story. I recently remarked to Nalini how odd it was that she knew so little of wood elf customs. I have a hard time reading Khajiit expression, but I believe I struck a nerve. She snapped at me. Well, what do you know of my people? And then she stalked right off. Stalked? Snapped? No, stalked, okay. You used to walk off when you were upset. You know, I think she's right. Perhaps it's time to ask some questions myself. Yes, well, I was rather tired when I was collecting mail last time, so I can understand why I've missed it. Oh, we've already gone quarter of an hour. The Khajiits have a strange religion. Do you know they believe themselves the perfect people? I couldn't imagine the perfect race quite so very. Of course I held my tongue. When Nalini told me this, I can't afford to offend those who travel unless I disrupt my shipments to you. Oh, that's more generous. Hey, let's keep going. Okay. There are, because I do know that Orbinor changes to another one. There are so many Khajiit gods. Little Lily was patient as she explained them, but I'm not quite sure why religion has to be so complicated. When I remarked so, little Lily simply laughed and said, "Complicated? This one would go mad should she be told to follow as many rules as you do. Funny, and outside you can be." Well, if the rules are to your betterment, follow them. If they're not, don't. Been worried. Oh, I finally wrote a letter home. It must have been 5 pages long. I had Lenny looked it over twice. She told me that any family who would be upset by a son such as myself are fools. Ooh, that's very complimentary. I have to admit, I did tear up at that. She pretended not to notice. I never thought a Khajiit would become one of my most steadfast friends. Ooh, oh! Didn't he marry Khajiit in the end as well? That was an interesting, very interesting story too. He's back to bewildered again. Another camp, another rumour. I'm not shocked that the others think I'm sweet on Lenny, but it's irksome. She takes the comments in stride though. I'm glad to have her wit, as I simply blush and grow silent when a snide comment is made. Lenny's becoming a reliable partner in collecting my materials, and her fees quite reasonable. Making money from this. You can't see because you blush because I got fur. Humans and elves. Oh, yes. Orcs are elves, sort of. Yeah. I finally sat Nalini down and explained that her comments may be causing some to think that there was truth in the rumours of our relationship. Raised a brow and told me, "They will tease no matter what I say. Could this one simply blush as you do?" I told her continue to do as she feels best before making a hasty exit. Today, a small group of bandits attacked us. Battle was quick, with no losses on our side. As I gathered my arrows, one of my companions lazily asked me, "Tell me, Wood Elf, which do you find tastier, Breton or Redguard?" I bit my tongue and went to my tent as she laughed. "Despite the attack, I've gathered your materials. Yet, the part of the Green Pact is you eat the fallen. So, you eat the bandits, hey? Orbinor, back to the faithful. I'm afraid my last letter may have sounded ungrateful. I've loved this opportunity to travel, and oftentimes enjoying the company of the Khajiit. They have no woodworker, but they've been happy to show me furniture they hope to sell. They are lovely pieces, but I know you'll create something even lovely with these materials. I've got some other bits other than crafting wood and stuff I could do." Yes. Orbinor bewildered again. I'm shocked by how many believe that wood elves still eat corpses. I know it's not entirely out of practice, but I think that we all still uphold this But to think that we all still uphold this tradition is ridiculous. Even Nalini asked me, and I answered so angrily we haven't spoken since. Despite what they may think, the Khajiit were still willing to trade with me for this shipment. Finally, I was able to make amends with Nalini. She had a quick temper, but also a kind heart. She's become an unexpected confidant during this journey. I will miss her when I leave, though I will not miss her incessant questions. They leave me far too confused. The one thing I'm sure about is being your hireling. Thank you very much. Hello? I'm going to leave it at that, and Nalini's letter was well start off on the next time. So let's exit because it's 20 minutes. It's pretty. I have a snow globe home like that. I could park it anywhere. There we go. Yeah, 20 minutes long. That's rather long. Oh well. Oh, sun shines in the west. There's a rock to stand on. Stand on a rock. This is smilejos67 signing off with Dax Isidoreth Hispalensis. Be well.